Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coin collecting, focusing on the 1971 Washington quarter, a coin that might be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million on today's market. So if you've got some old quarters lying around, don't go anywhere, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter was originally introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. Initially designed by John Flanagan, the quarter became an iconic piece of American currency. Fast forward to 1971, almost 40 years after the Washington quarter was first minted, and you'd expect it to be just another common coin. But what makes the 1971 Washington quarter so unique? Why is it suddenly worth millions? Let's get into the details that set this coin apart. So, here's the million-dollar question, or should I say, the $1.8 million question: why is the 1971 quarter so valuable? There are a few key factors here. First up, error coins. Coin collectors go wild for coins with unusual minting errors, and it just so happens that the 1971 Washington quarter is infamous for a few rare and highly collectible errors. The most notable error with this coin is the 1971 D quarter on a silver planchet. Back in 1971, quarters were supposed to be struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet, no silver involved. But a handful of these coins were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from previous years. These silver planchets were meant for dimes and quarters produced before 1965. Finding a 1971 quarter with this error is like hitting the jackpot for collectors, and it's a huge part of why the coin is valued so highly. Next, it's all about rarity and condition. Many 1971 quarters were released into circulation, but very few are in the mint state or proof condition that collectors crave. A high-quality 1971 quarter in pristine condition is already rare, but finding one with an error? Almost impossible. And when something is both rare and high quality, its value skyrockets. Some of these quarters have been professionally graded and rated as high as MS-67 or MS-68, which is near perfect condition. Coins like these command premium prices in the coin market and are especially attractive to high-end collectors. And finally, let's talk market demand. In recent years, there's been a growing interest in rare U.S. coins, especially from investors and collectors overseas. Many collectors are looking for unique American coins with fascinating backstories, and this demand is driving up the prices. The combination of a rare error, high condition, and huge market demand means these quarters are fetching sky-high prices at auctions. Now that you know why the 1971 Washington quarter is so valuable, let's talk about how you can identify one that might be worth big money. First, check the date and mint mark. The most valuable quarters are specifically 1971 D quarters. The D mint mark means it was minted in Denver. Other 1971 quarters can still be valuable, especially if they're in pristine condition, but the 1971 D is the one known for the silver planchet error. Next, you'll want to check if your quarter is struck on a silver planchet instead of the regular copper-nickel clad. One easy way to test this is to perform the sound test. Drop the quarter gently on a flat surface. If it produces a high-pitched ping, it's likely silver. A regular 1971 quarter with no silver will make a duller sound. For a more accurate test, you could use a magnet. Silver is not magnetic, while other metals in circulation quarters might react. Finally, check for any minting errors or unusual details. Errors could be anything from a double die to an off-center strike or other visible abnormalities. These types of errors can be subtle, so you might need a magnifying glass or loupe for closer inspection. Alright, let's talk about the current market value. Why is this coin now worth $1.8 million? Just recently, a 1971 D Washington quarter with a silver planchet and in mint state condition was auctioned for this price due to the rarity, demand, and intrigue surrounding it. Rare coins like this 1971 quarter are seen as great investments. The possibility of stumbling upon a valuable quarter at a garage sale, in a piggy bank, or at your local coin dealer adds excitement to coin collecting and creates a buzz in the market. Collectors are willing to pay a premium, hoping to either resell at an even higher value or keep it as a priceless addition to their collections. That if you think you've got a valuable 1971 quarter on your hands, here are a few steps you can take. First, consider getting your coin graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high grading can drastically increase its value. The grading process evaluates the coin's authenticity, condition, and any unique features it may have. You can also consult a local coin dealer or numismatics expert. They'll be able to help you assess your coin and determine if it has any unique errors or special characteristics that could increase its value. And finally, if you're ready to sell, list it on a reputable auction site like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers. These sites cater specifically to high-end coin collectors, so you'll have a better chance of finding serious buyers willing to pay top dollar. So, there you have it. The 1971 Washington quarter may look like any ordinary coin, but for the lucky few who find one of these rare error coins, it could mean a small fortune. Who knows, maybe you'll find a 1971 quarter in your change or collection and be the next big seller. We're diving deep into the fascinating history, unique design, and market value of this beloved commemorative coin. So stick around, because if you have one of these rare quarters, it could be worth big money. In the early 1970s, the United States wanted to celebrate its 200th birthday. Congress approved a special project to redesign three popular coins, the quarter, the half dollar, and the dollar. The idea was to honor America's bicentennial anniversary, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. And thus, the iconic 1776 to 1976 quarter was born. Designed by Jack L. Ahr, the quarter's reverse side features an image of a colonial drummer and a torch surrounded by 13 stars, symbolizing the original colonies. These quarters are easily recognized because they display the double date, 1776 to 1976 on the obverse, rather than the usual single year of minting. There are a few important varieties of the bicentennial quarter, and their value largely depends on which type you have. Let's break down the main versions you might come across. Circulation strike. These are the quarters you're most likely to find in change. They were struck in copper-nickel clad by both the Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark, mints, proof strike. These coins were specially made for collectors and have a high level of detail and mirror-like finish. Most proofs are copper-nickel clad, minted in San Francisco, and display the S mint mark. 40% silver bicentennial quarter. Now, this is where it gets exciting. For the bicentennial, the U.S. Mint also produced special collector's sets with quarters struck in 40% silver. These quarters were sold as part of proof and uncirculated sets and weren't intended for circulation. These are rarer and tend to be more valuable than their clad counterparts. Each of these varieties can have significantly different values, especially if they're in top condition. So, what makes certain 1776 to 1976 quarters worth thousands or even millions of dollars? The main factors that impact a coin's value are its rarity, condition, mint mark, and errors or varieties. Condition, grading: the better the condition, the higher the value. Coins graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, in pristine grades, like MS67 or higher, can fetch a premium. Errors and varieties. Certain bicentennial quarters have rare mint errors, like double dies or off-center strikes. These errors can dramatically increase the value, with collectors willing to pay top dollar for unusual varieties. Silver composition. The 40% silver quarters are naturally more valuable due to their silver content. But in top grades, they can be worth several $100s. And, of course, any high-grade, rare 40% silver quarters with mint errors or unique features can be worth a fortune. Market demand and recent auction sales. This brings us to the ultimate reason some of these coins have skyrocketed in value recently. In 2023, a bicentennial quarter fetched $1.9 million in an auction. Collectors have shown an increasing demand for bicentennial coins, especially those in top condition with unique features. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, how can you tell if you have a valuable bicentennial quarter? Let's go through a quick checklist. Check the mint mark, look for the D, Denver, S, San Francisco, or no mint mark, Philadelphia. If it's an S mint mark, it could be a silver proof. Check the condition. If your coin is in pristine, shiny condition, it may be worth sending it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Coins graded at MS65 or higher are where the real value begins. Look for errors. Errors can be hard to spot, but if your coin has doubled lettering, unusual marks, or an off-center strike, it could be a valuable mint error. Silver content test. If you suspect you have a 40% silver quarter, it might be worth weighing it. Silver quarters typically weigh around 5.75 grams, while copper-nickel quarters are slightly lighter. If you spot any of these signs, congratulations. You might just have a rare and valuable bicentennial quarter. Now, let's talk numbers. How much are these quarters actually selling for today? Circulated bicentennial quarters. For the copper-nickel versions found in circulation, most are worth face value or slightly more if in decent condition, usually around 25 cents to a couple of dollars. Proof coins, proof versions, especially in high grades, can fetch $10 to $50 on the market. Silver proofs in high grades can go for more, sometimes over $100.40% silver quarters. In high grades, these can be worth $40 to several $100s. Collectors love the silver content, and graded coins in MS67 or MS68 have sold for several $100s. Top-grade specimens and errors. As we mentioned earlier, one incredibly rare bicentennial quarter sold in 2023 for $1.9 million. This particular coin was in flawless condition and had unique characteristics that made it irresistible to collectors. The market demand is high for high-grade bicentennial quarters, so if you come across one with unique traits or perfect condition, you might have a coin that could fetch thousands, or even millions, at auction. So, do you have a 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter sitting around? It might just be worth checking it out, especially if it's in excellent condition or has some unusual traits. If you're a collector or just someone curious about the world of rare coins, these quarters are a fascinating piece of American history and may be worth a fortune. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of the 21st century, the 2000 Virginia State Quarter, minted in Denver and Philadelphia. While most of these coins are worth just face value, some rare examples have fetched prices in the hundreds of thousands, and some collectors believe the right one could even go for up to $1.7 million. Show historical images or footage of Virginia landmarks and George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. The Virginia State Quarter was part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, launched in 1999 and concluded in 2008. Each coin in the series celebrated a unique aspect of its state, and the Virginia Quarter pays tribute to the historic Jamestown settlement. Featuring the ships that carried the first English settlers to America in 1607, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, the coin has become a favorite among collectors. Cut to a visual breakdown of the coin, pointing out the Denver Mint mark, D, and the error locations on the coin.so, what makes the 2000 D Virginia State Quarter potentially worth a fortune. Well, it all comes down to some incredibly rare mint errors and certain unusual characteristics. Generally, a 2000 Virginia quarter with no mint errors is worth about 25 cents, but rare variations or error coins can increase its value astronomically. First, let's break down some of the most sought-after types of errors. Coins struck at the Denver Mint are marked with a small d on the obverse side, right below the date, and that's what makes it a 2000 D Virginia quarter. These specific coins have some intriguing variations that collectors are chasing down. Let's look at 3 types of errors on the 2000 D Virginia quarters that are worth keeping an eye out for. Double die errors. A double die error happens when a coin is struck multiple times, creating a slight overlap of features. This can make certain details, like the inscriptions or the ships, appear doubled or blurry. Coins with double die errors have fetched hundreds, even thousands, of dollars due to their rarity. Off-center strikes. Off-center coins are struck with a misalignment, often showing part of the design missing from one side of the coin. If you have a 2000 D Virginia quarter that is visibly misaligned, you could be looking at a coin that's worth far more than face value. Depending on how severe the error is, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands. Clipped planchet errors. Clipped planchets occur when a piece of the coin's edge is missing due to an error during the minting process. This type of error, though rare, is highly collectible. A clipped 2000 D quarter could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred. To get the most out of your 2000 D Virginia quarter, you'll need to understand coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolutely flawless, or mint state. Coins graded at MS65 or higher are in pristine condition and often fetch a premium. A regular 2000 D Virginia quarter in MS65 could be worth a few dollars. However, if you have a coin with an error that's also in excellent condition, that's when we start talking serious money. The highest auction prices are generally for coins in mint state with extremely rare errors. Some error coins from the 2000 D batch have sold for record-breaking amounts. One error 2000 D Virginia quarter sold for over $500,000 at auction a few years back, and collectors are constantly searching for the Holy Grail coin that could sell for as much as $1.70 million. But why the high price? Well, rarity and historical significance play a huge role. Coins like these are unique pieces of history, and collectors love the thrill of owning something so rare and unusual. If you want to check if you have one of these rare and valuable quarters, here's what to do: examine the mint mark, look for the small d on the obverse side of the coin under the date. This indicates it was minted in Denver. Check for errors, look closely with a magnifying glass or loupe. Do you see doubling on any lettering or images? Is part of the coin missing, or is it struck off center? Evaluate condition. Even if you find an error, a damaged or worn coin may not be worth as much as a well-preserved one. If it's in mint condition, you might be holding onto a high-value coin. Get a professional opinion. To verify value, have it graded by a professional coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC. These services can confirm the authenticity and condition, giving you a precise value. In the world of coin collecting, it's not always about the age of the coin, sometimes it's about rarity and condition. The 2000 D Virginia State Quarter is a perfect example. Most are worth just 25 cents, but if you're lucky enough to find one with a rare error, you could be looking at a life-changing sum of money. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned numismatist, keep an eye out for these error quarters. The market is hot for unique coins, and who knows? You could be sitting on a gold mine. We're diving into some serious treasure hunting. Ever wondered if that old quarter you got as change could actually be worth, not just a few cents, but up to $1.6 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about two very interesting coins, the 2002 P quarter and a rare 1790s coin that has some serious history attached. Stick around as we uncover why these coins are worth so much and how you can tell if you're holding on to one of these rare gems. First up, let's talk about the 2002 P mint mark quarter. Now, you may be thinking, it's just a quarter, right? But as with many coins, there's more here than meets the eye. In the world of numismatics, or coin collecting, a small detail can mean the difference between a quarter worth 25 cents, and one worth thousands of dollars. So, why is the 2002 P quarter worth so much? Well, first of all, there were different quarters released in 2002 as part of the 50-state quarters program, celebrating the states of Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana, and Mississippi. But not all quarters are created equal. Some of these coins have errors or unique features that collectors are willing to pay big money for. The P mint mark on the quarter represents the Philadelphia Mint. Usually, coins from Philadelphia aren't as valuable as those from other mints like Denver or San Francisco. But in 2002, a small batch of Philadelphia quarters had something special. Certain error coins were minted by mistake, including coins with off-centering, double dies, or other production quirks. These coins are rare and are often found by sharp-eyed collectors who examine every detail. If you're looking through your quarters and come across a 2002 P, look closely at specific features. A double die, for instance, shows slight doubling on the letters or numbers on the coin. Misstrikes, where the coin is off-center, are another highly sought-after error. Another type of error to look out for is an off-metal strike, where the quarter was mistakenly struck on the wrong metal planchet. This would make the quarter feel lighter or look unusual in color. These types of errors are quite rare and can fetch thousands in auction if authenticated. So, what are these quarters actually worth? Well, recent auctions have shown that error 2002 P quarters, depending on the type and condition, can sell for anywhere between $500 to over $10,000. That's a pretty incredible return on a quarter. But keep in mind, the coin's grade, or its condition, matters a lot. Coins graded by companies like PCGS or NGC that have higher ratings will naturally command higher prices. A high-grade 2002 P error quarter could potentially hit that five-figure range, while others in lower grades might still bring in a few $100s. Alright, let's shift gears and talk about a real legend, the 1790s quarter that's worth an eye-watering $1.6 million. This is a piece of American history, minted back when the U.S. was just getting its start. This quarter was minted in the early days of the U.S. Mint, which started operations in 1792. These coins are incredibly rare, as only a small number were produced. Early minting technology was not as precise as it is today, so each coin is unique in its own way, making them highly prized among collectors. In fact, coins from this era, especially those in great condition, are some of the most valuable coins ever sold. One 1790s quarter, with an MS 68 grade, which is nearly perfect condition, recently sold for an astonishing $1.6 million. So, why the high price? Well, it comes down to three factors: age, rarity, and historical significance. This isn't just a coin, it's a tangible piece of America's story. Only a handful of these coins are still in existence today, making it a true prize for collectors. Collectors love these early American coins because they mark the beginnings of the U.S. Mint and offer a snapshot of what life was like at the time. If you're lucky enough to find one of these in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, how can you tell if you have a rare or valuable quarter? First, take a close look. If it's a 2002 P, check for any errors, misprints, off-centering, unusual metal colors. And if you're lucky enough to come across an older quarter, especially one from the late 1700s, treat it with care and consider getting it professionally graded. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, which is essential if you're thinking about selling it at auction. A certified grade will increase its value, especially if it's in excellent condition. So there you have it, folks. Quarters from 2002 and even from the 1790s could be worth way more than you'd expect. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep your eyes peeled. You never know, the next time you get change, it might just be your ticket to a huge payday. We're diving into the exciting world of rare coins and the huge value some of them hold. Specifically, we're talking about a coin that has made quite a splash in the collector community, the 2004 P Wisconsin quarter, also known as the extra leaf quarter. Some people have seen these coins sell for thousands at auction, and there's been lots of buzz around these unique quarters. So, if you have any quarters from 2004 lying around, you may want to stick around for this one. First, let's set the stage. The Wisconsin quarter is part of the 50-state quarter series, which was released from 1999 to 2008. Each quarter honored a different U.S. state, and the Wisconsin quarter was minted in 2004. It features a stunning design with Wisconsin state symbols, a cow, a wheel of cheese, and an ear of corn. But what really makes this quarter so valuable is a rare mint error that wasn't discovered until after its release. So, what's the story behind this rare mint error? Well, a small number of these 2004 P Wisconsin quarters were found to have an additional detail on the cornstalk. This little detail, or extra leaf, comes in two versions, the extra leaf high and the extra leaf low variety. They're called this because the extra leaf appears at different spots on the cornstalk. Display side-by-side images of the extra leaf high and extra leaf low varieties, highlighting where the extra leaf is located. At first glance, this extra leaf might seem minor, but to collectors, it makes all the difference. These variations were unintended and are believed to be the result of accidental die gouges at the mint. Only a limited number of these quarters were minted with the extra leaf, making them extremely rare and valuable. So, you might be wondering, how much are these quarters worth? Well, that's the million-dollar question, literally. Though none of these coins have sold for millions, in high grades, both the extra leaf high and extra leaf low varieties can sell for thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. Let's break down some recent prices from auctions and marketplaces. As you can see, the value of these quarters can range dramatically based on their condition. A coin graded MS-67, meaning it's nearly flawless under magnification, might sell for around $1,500. But if it's in MS-68 condition, that's where prices can jump up to $3,500 or more. One coin in particularly high condition even sold for over $6,000 at auction. Now, you might be thinking, how can I tell if my quarter is one of these rare error coins? Here's what to look for. Take a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and closely examine the left side of the cornstalk. If you see an extra leaf pointing either slightly upward or downward, congratulations, you may have found an extra leaf quarter. Remember, these leaves are subtle and often overlooked, so take your time examining each one. If you think you found one, I highly recommend getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Certified coins hold more value because buyers trust their authenticity and condition rating. A graded coin will come sealed in a tamper-proof case, with a label showing its grade and details. Alright, now for the big question, why are these errors so valuable? It all comes down to scarcity and the allure of mint errors. Errors give us a small glimpse into what went on behind the scenes at the mint, where small mistakes made it through quality control. When collectors know only a small number of these coins exist, demand drives up their value. And if you're curious about whether these quarters will go up in value, the answer is yes, likely over time. Collectibles tend to appreciate, especially rare mint errors. And with the added mystique and the collectible nature of the 50-state quarter series, these extra leaf quarters have become a must-have for serious collectors. So, do you have a rare 2004 P. Wisconsin extra leaf quarter? If you do, it could be worth thousands. Even if you don't find one, it's a great reminder to check your pocket change regularly because you never know what treasures might be hiding there. Coins like this remind us that collecting can be both a fascinating hobby and a rewarding investment. We're diving deep into a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change, the 2015 D Mint Mark quarter dollar. You might think it's just another modern coin, but believe it or not, there are versions of this quarter that are worth a lot of money. And I mean serious money. We're talking in the range of thousands to even up to a whopping $1.4 million for the rarest versions. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that most people overlook or toss in a piggy bank could actually make you a millionaire if you know what to look for. So, in this video, we're going to break down the history of this coin, what makes certain versions so valuable, and how you can tell if you've hit the jackpot. Let's get started. Alright, so let's first talk a little about the 2015 D Mint Mark quarter. This quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which started back in 2010. Each year, the U.S. Mint releases several designs in this series, celebrating national parks and sites across the United States. The D Mint mark on this 2015 quarter means it was minted in Denver, Colorado. The series overall has been highly collectible due to its changing designs, but few people thought these modern quarters would ever reach sky-high values. One design that's especially in focus today is the Blue Ridge Parkway quarter from 2015. It's known for its beautiful depiction of the scenic mountain road cutting through North Carolina, and it's loved by collectors for its detailed design. But why would anyone pay so much for one of these quarters? So, what makes this 2015 D quarter valuable? There are a few main factors to keep in mind: rarity, condition, errors, and demand among collectors. The rarest versions of this coin have some unique features, and it's these that can lead to the highest prices. The first factor is rarity. Even though millions of these quarters were minted, only a small number have the unique qualities or minting errors that serious collectors are after. The rarest varieties of the 2015 D quarter include limited minting runs or errors that happened by accident during production. Next, there's condition. Collectors love coins in pristine condition, that means no scratches, dings, or wear and tear. Coins in perfect, uncirculated condition with a high mint state grade can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars alone. Now, let's talk about errors, and this is a big one. Some coins were struck with minor mistakes that make them one-of-a-kind collectibles. Examples include off-center strikes, double dies, or other anomalies where the design looks slightly off. These errors are rare and are a huge reason why some of these coins reach jaw-dropping prices. We'll get into what these specific errors look like in a bit. Finally, demand. As more collectors get into modern quarters, the demand for rare coins, especially those with interesting designs or errors, has shot up. This increased interest drives up prices even more. Alright, so now let's get to the exciting part: what specific errors should you look for? There are a few main ones that are especially valuable on the 2015 D mint mark quarters. The first error to keep an eye out for is the double die. A double die error happens when the coin design is accidentally stamped twice in slightly different positions. This creates a doubled effect, especially noticeable in details like the lettering, numbers, or parts of the design. Look carefully along the edges of letters or numbers for this unique doubling. In high grades, double die quarters from 2015 can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Then, there are off-center strikes. This error occurs when the coin isn't perfectly aligned when it's stamped, causing part of the design to be missing. Off-center strikes can range from minor misalignments to extremely noticeable ones, where nearly half the design is missing. The more dramatic the off-center, the higher the value. These can fetch hundreds in good condition. Another rare error is die breaks or cuts. This happens when part of the die used to strike the coin breaks off, leaving a raised bump or blank area on the coin. These are quite rare and can be worth a small fortune, especially if the error is very noticeable. Some of these coins can go for several $1,000s depending on the severity of the die break. So, what's the current market value for a 2015 D quarter? Well, it depends on the factors we talked about: condition, errors, and demand. But here's the exciting part: some of these quarters, especially with rare errors and in top condition, have been valued at over $1.4 million. Now, this is extremely rare, and it's mainly due to a unique error combined with perfect mint state grading. Other quarters with less dramatic errors but still in top grades can still sell for thousands. Even if your 2015 D quarter doesn't have an error, if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth $100 to $500. The key is to have your coin graded by a professional, like PCGS or NGC, to know the exact condition and get the best estimate of its value. Now, if you have a 2015 D quarter and you want to check if it's worth something, here's what to do: examine the details, look closely at the lettering, numbers, and design elements to see if you spot any doubling or other oddities, check the edges, make sure to check if the design appears misaligned or off-center, get it graded. For coins you think might be in excellent condition or that have errors, consider getting them graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. This will give you an official condition rating, which can massively impact the coin's value. So, there you have it. The 2015 D mint mark quarter dollar could be worth way more than 25 cents, if you know what to look for. Whether it's a rare mint error or an uncirculated coin, some of these quarters are in serious demand. So next time you find a 2015 D quarter, take a close look. You might just have a treasure in your pocket. We're talking about something that's really been making waves in the coin community, the 2016 Mint Mark $quarter coins. Believe it or not, these coins can be worth big money, and I'm talking big money. Some of them are even being valued at up to $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. So, if you've got a 2016 quarter lying around, you might want to stick around until the end of this video to find out if you're sitting on a small fortune. Alright, let's start with a bit of background on the 2016 quarters themselves. In 2016, the US Mint released quarters as part of the America the Beautiful series. These coins celebrated various national parks and historic sites across the United States. And the P Mint mark you see? That means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Quarters from the Philadelphia Mint aren't typically rare, but there are certain varieties and errors that have collectors on the edge of their seats. So, what exactly makes the 2016 quarters so valuable? Well, it mostly comes down to specific error coins and unique varieties. These can transform an otherwise ordinary quarter into something worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars. Now, there are several varieties of the 2016 quarters, but the ones bringing in serious money are typically errors, such as double die errors, misprints, and off-center strikes. Let's talk about some of the most valuable errors found on the 2016 quarters. First up, double die errors. Double die errors occur when the coin's design is accidentally struck more than once, creating a slightly doubled image. This could be seen in the text, the image, or anywhere on the coin. Some of these errors are subtle, but collectors love them. Another error type is an off-center strike. These are really cool to look at, part of the design is actually shifted off the edge of the coin. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly centered in the die, causing a part of the image or text to shift. These are incredibly valuable because they're so unique. Alright, now you're probably wondering, which specific 2016 quarters should I be looking out for? Well, among the 5 different designs released in 2016, collectors have found errors and valuable varieties in all of them. But there are some that stand out more than others due to their rarity or the extent of the error. The Shawnee National Forest quarter, which shows a design of the stunning rock formations in Illinois, is one of the top finds in the 2016 series. If you spot an error on this quarter, like a double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands of dollars. Next up is the Cumberland Gap quarter, which features a historic image of a frontiersman gazing westward. Errors on this quarter, particularly double dies in the text or figure, have been known to sell for hundreds to even thousands. So if you have one, take a close look. The Fort Moultrie quarter, honoring the Revolutionary War fort in South Carolina, also has some error varieties that collectors really want. Again, these include double die varieties or planchet errors, which can skyrocket the value. Now let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How much are these coins actually worth? Generally speaking, a regular 2016 quarter in circulated condition is worth, well, 25 cents. But error coins? That's where things get interesting. For double die errors, values can start around $50 for smaller errors but quickly rise to hundreds or thousands depending on the size of the doubling and its clarity. Coins in mint state, particularly those graded MS 65 or above, can be worth a significant amount even without errors. MS 65 examples without errors have gone for upwards of $15 to $50, depending on the design. But an error coin in that condition? Those can sell for tens of thousands. For the extremely rare errors, like double dies that are very pronounced or off-center strikes that are perfectly unique, there's a possibility for values in the 6 figures. In some cases, unique error coins have fetched as much as $1.3 million at auction. One of the most impressive examples of a 2016 quarter fetching a massive price was sold for $1.3 million. But remember, this is incredibly rare and usually involves coins with one-of-a-kind error combinations and in pristine condition. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 2016 quarter? First, take a close look. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help you spot subtle errors. Look for any doubling in the text, image, or edge of the coin. If you think you have something special, consider getting it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Alright, coin enthusiasts, that's a wrap for today's video. Who knew that a 2016 quarter could be worth so much money, right? If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next video on the exciting world of coin collecting. And hey, check those change jars, you might just find a treasure in there. Until next time, keep hunting and happy collecting.